Today's podcast is sponsored by face masks, now a commodity that everyone must wear.
In your home, in your car, in Broward County, Florida.
Having sex with your significant other? Mask. Taking a shower? Mask.
Ice cream, mask.
Drinking? Mask.
Just mask on, ladies and gentlemen.
Mask on. Apply it directly to the forehead. And I'm Steve.
I'm Tom.
And this is Demagogue News with things you need to know about episode 42, Life, the Universe, and Everything.
Yep, it's been a pretty weird weekend.
Yeah, it's as opposed to the non-weird weekends you've had in the past.
Very true.
This is very extra weird.
Yeah, there's a brief point in time in June where the weekends were a little bit less weird.
Yeah, it was the middle of June was pretty fucking. Well, I mean, the middle of June was also major protests and riots.
Yeah, not for us. For them, yeah. Like for the protesters, rioters.
The middle of May was pretty decent. Like, but before May 25th was pretty all right.
I mean, it was weird. Like I'd say once like Arizona reopened, that was like cool.
Yeah, that was the light at the end of the tunnel. That's now been shut quickly because Doug Ducey is acquiesced.
That bitch.
But another place that has acquiesced now is apparently Chicago. Chicago is going into a modified phase 0, closing down restaurants and places that obviously the Rona is totally, out of control at. Yet another place is saying, the Rona's back, which makes no sense.
It's back. Yeah, there's no evidence. A lockdown is only effective if you do it swiftly before the disease actually hits. Like once it's circulating, it's.
Remember when there's 14 people in Washington,
mm-hmm.
or like 6 people in California? Like, it's 6 people in California. I think everyone like highlights New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
This bastion. They defeated the coronavirus.
Yeah.
They subsequently had coronavirus people in New
really?
Zealand. Yeah, but like it's very small. A la China, very very minimal for the fact that they have people. But there's no one lives in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. No one lives there. There's like 8 people that live in New Zealand, and one of them is Peter Jackson and some hobbits. But yeah, they shut down almost completely. They might have crazily inflated their economy, like we have already done, wildly so. And they state that they don't have any cases anymore. So, well, hot damn. Are we now in hindsight as armchair quarterbacks on Monday seeing all the problems that we should and shouldn't have done?
Possibly.
Probably.
I mean, we're not going to have all the details until probably the end of this year. But
yeah.
As far as models go, like the U.S. is definitely not the best, considering Sweden is not getting, like they are getting an increase of cases.
But they haven't locked down at all.
Mm-mm. Like it's been relatively normal in places like Sweden or Israel.
And there's plenty of big cities where lots of urban centers are in those countries. It's not like there's a difference between them and a U.S. urban city.
Yeah.
Cars and people and fucking businesses.
But we've done so bad. Very bad.
The worst, actually.
The worst. Except for New York and New Jersey. They're the example you should follow according to that and our friend Dr. Fauci. Phil
Murphy. Phil and Cuomo. They're doing the best, even though that New York and New Jersey make up like a 5th or 4th of all U.S. cases.
Yeah, it's 25% of all U.S. cases while holding 6% of the U.S. population.
Good job, Cuomo. Good job. You've done the best job.
Like he didn't even start like cleaning subways until what was it? Like the end of May, like early May, I think, was when they started cleaning subways.
That was my favorite. They shut down New York. Got it. Cool. Makes sense. You still use a subway, tight and compacted next to all of these people.
With all these hard surfaces.
Yeah. Underground, permanently indoors. Never an inch of, scattering light from the sun in the subway. And they didn't think that'd be a smart thing to shut down?
Yeah.
Or clean or something. Fucking anything.
Or put old people with COVID back into nursing homes? Like, I'm sorry.
Which is now being disputed. That's being disputed now.
Really?
Yeah. They're trying to correct the record on that.
Oh, they're trying to change the
past. They are about this idea of these putting COVID positive old people back in their nursing homes.
Jeez.
Oh, that didn't happen. That fucking happened.
Yeah, we were all there.
It wasn't like it was years. It was fucking 4 months ago, 3 months ago.
But that's hilarious. These fucks.
It's the doubt level is just getting higher and higher and higher. Many states, including our own, are finding that there are patients that have been put as probable to add to the toll. Deaths make no sense whatsoever. George Floyd died of the Rona, as did a 20-year-old motorcycle accident. Died of the these numbers don't even matter.
No, it's all it's very hard to take this seriously when everything is so subjective.
And it's under the guise of concrete science. That's the thing, is that it's shown that, this is exactly what's happening. This is science. The experts have told us. And then it's like, no. They either lied, misrepresented, or didn't tell the truth. Well, fuck. As a Joe Schmo, what am I supposed to think?
Yeah. I think it's the experts, quote unquote experts, are being held to this higher standard, as if they aren't human.
It's like how they treat the police.
Yeah.
They can do no wrong. Everything that comes out of their mouths is the new font of science. It is the greatest thing ever to be achieved, whatever they say. But they're people. They poop every day. They take showers. They cut their face shaving or whatever. They have a favorite sandwich at McDonald's. They're humans, and they're absolutely infallible. But we expect them to be perfect. It's impossible. Even our friend Dr. Fauci, he's still a person.
Yeah. Especially Dr. Fauci, he said some kind of ridiculous shit like 2 million dead. That was something that he actually espoused at one point in time.
Yeah, during those press briefings. Yeah.
Also say, for him to say, we did so well in New York and New Jersey, I would have to disagree with him on that.
I think you could say we've done great in South Dakota or
in places with no people, Alaska.
Oh, Montana's doing fantastic, Tom. Let me tell you. Kansas, perfect. Yeah, but it's ridiculous that they would say that New York is the is the leader. That's the what to be to be looked forward as positive and to yearn for.
Andrew Cuomo certainly likes saying that.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He loves it. He's selling this mural about the achievement of. It's almost like a Roman triumph. This is how we beat and prevailed against the coronavirus.
Commission a statue of me for how great I have done in this crisis as your city burns down, economically, physically in some places.
Yeah, the city, man. Bill de Blasio, for him to blatantly lie and say that he did a good job with COVID and crime is that's just it's a bold-faced lie.
But if he says it enough times, well, it's correct, right? Must be.
Think that's how it works?
Yeah, I don't know. New York, I'm just seeing right here at the New York Post, Cuomo must end New York crime wave, where he will step in.
Ooh.
Between Chicago, Portland, now it's going to be New York City. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, no police. Remember, New York pulled $1 billion from the NYPD budget, so they can't afford to do shit now.
I mean, okay, so you want to go over the Chicago stuff really briefly, and then let's go to the big city protests now.
The big city protests.
So we'll start Chicago. Obviously, still seeing an ironic situation that Steve was telling me about. If you want to go into it.
Yeah. So Chicago just this weekend had another round of terrible time with do these criminals wait for the weekend to kill people?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
This weekend, 60. So this previous weekend, 60 people got shot. I think 12 people died in Chicago this weekend. But do they wait? Do they take a break Monday through Thursday? They go rest. They recuperate R&R before they go back in the streets for their because it's only the weekend. What happens on a Wednesday? I assume something happens on
Apparently
a Wednesday.
Nothing.
Yeah, but 60 people were shot in Chicago, and the ironic story of the day is that of these people were two children, a 10 and 11-year-old, who were at a vigil for a family member that was shot in a drive-by shooting 2 years prior, and they were caught in a shooting and got shot. What the fuck?
Yeah,
if that was in a book, I would be like, nah, that's not real. If that's in a movie, that doesn't happen. That's dumb. No, that happened. Hilarious.
Has Mayor Lori Lightfoot said anything about it?
I can only assume she wants to do something that sounds nice and positive, that has no I don't know. She's hilarious.
Bring out the social workers.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Lori Lightfoot, what did you got for me? Well, apparently the first one is bars can't be open. Boom. Can't serve alcohol. Regulations on bars. But they don't talk about this massive, murder spree that happened just last weekend.
What about the killings?
Yeah, what about the murders? Nope.
Nothing.
First page of Google, nothing.
Joy.
Yeah. But she's terrified that Trump might send the feds to Chicago.
Then she should probably take care of her own situation.
Yeah, right? I mean, you are the elected official of the city of Chicago. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's well within your power. Like, for you to act powerless, I'm sorry, I can't even respect you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Lightfoot says that we don't need federal agents without any insignia taking people off the street. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we
But
will.
Chicago's top cop has a different reaction. We will take any and all help, and we've made numerous requests in our efforts to address the mid-level and higher-level criminal networks. So please, the people on the boots on the ground say please.
Yeah, I mean,
help me. Help me.
Sounds like a credible person to listen to.
Yeah.
I guess as we work our way westward, though, I just want to talk about one more thing before we get to Portland. Minnesota, Minneapolis was fucking trashed from the George Floyd protests.
Yes.
So, federal agents were never sent there.
Right.
And now the governor is asking for federal funding to repair after they let the protests run rampant throughout the state.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Hey, can you pay for this?
Can you loan me some money?
Yeah. So Trump blatantly just said no. He's like, no.
That's great.
Get fucked.
Minnesota. Maybe Ilhan Omar should help her district.
Yeah. What? Maybe. She hasn't really said anything about.
No,
about that.
it's only racism. Yeah.
If you disagree with Ilhan Omar, you're a racist.
Yeah. Even though her specific district, I'm assuming in Minneapolis, might need a little help.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Might be useful to have. You know, somebody on your side. Must be nice to have Ilhan Omar on your side.
That's a good one. So the big story over the weekend.
Yeah, the big
is
money.
The city of Portland, which has been in constant protest for 51 days
51
now.
days, which is great. Glad, the mayor, was it Ted Keene?
Ted Wheeler, I
Ted
think.
Wheeler. Ted Wheeler. I'm glad he's doing a good job. Glad he's kicking ass, making sure that Portland doesn't burn to the fucking ground.
And by that, we mean he
hasn't done anything.
He's $23 million and counting in damages to local businesses.
Wow. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Get some Flex Seal on his ass.
So the Department of Homeland Security,
Yep.
they have federal agents there who are pretty much driving around in unmarked vehicles, and they're not blatantly stopping some of these protests, but they'll track protesters who are leaving, and then pretty much just jump them, pick them up, and then take them to a holding cell.
Yeah, it's very interesting because apparently they have sterile fatigues on. And they don't have an insignia or a badge of a specific organization.
Mm-hmm.
And for what I saw, it was federal agents in a minivan. They're like in a Honda Odyssey. They're in a Lincoln Town and Country, bebopping around, and they see something that they recognize, and they all hop out, snag the dude, throw him in the car, and bring him, for questioning. And that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
haven't seen that one recently. It's been a hot minute since I've seen secret police.
That's like a Gestapo tactics.
Oh, yeah,
basically.
just grab and go. Yeah.
Which, that is disturbing, but at the same time, the question is, if they aren't going to do anything, who's going to stop the protests? Who's standing in the way of them when your representative, your governor, and your mayor are all standing back and saying, oh, these are mostly peaceful protests?
Yeah, it's not the fact that I believe 49 cops have been injured in this. So one a day get seriously injured that they can't work. So what are we gonna do about it? I don't know. So when something does happen, that might be a little too much. That might be crossing the line.
What?
That might be
the
federal agents snatching people. But what is your resolution? What is your choice? What is your
if you
plan?
don't have a better answer, then.
And also, me, a person living in Portland, trying to run a business, trying to live my fucking life. And I sympathize with Black Lives Matter, and I sympathize with what they're doing. And then they're destroying property, including mine. What am I supposed to do? What's my recourse? I'm going to sue them? Who am I going to sue? What legal agent? What agency or what thing can I sue to get compensation? Nothing. You're just fucked.
Yeah, it's like, why am I paying taxes to you? Why am I obeying the laws, and then you don't punish other people who don't obey the law?
Yeah, because there's city tax in Portland. You pay taxes straight to the city and the state and the government. So, yeah, that sucks. And I think that the big video is that protesters in Portland broke into a police union building, and they lit that on fire. And then they were attacking, is the word, the federal courthouse, where apparently some federal agents were staging. And there's a wonderful video of them outside these double doors, and then they crash through it, do a full shock and awe, and blast people out and start arresting people. And it's like, well, what are they supposed to do? That's federal property.
Yeah.
If there's anything that they have jurisdiction of, it's actually
Definitely.
That's the one thing they actually have their jurisdiction. That's not the property of Portland. It's the property of the U.S. government. You can't do that. But also, do we want Chaz again? Do we want the fucking, the police to be like, oh, we're just going to leave?
Yeah.
Cool. Fend for yourselves in Portland. Good luck with that.
It's kind of like like one franchise of Burger King, like just like a local Burger King, and like everything's gone to hell. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, corporate's going to send people in to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it's unfortunate too, because there was an incident where a man named Chris David, a 53-year-old Navy vet, asked a couple of these federal agents like about their tactics, like, hey, are you using unmarked vehicles to like pick up people? And they just beat his ass. Like, they beat his hand in 2 places, and he had a like big ass gash on his forehead. So instances like that, like, that's detestable, and they shouldn't be doing that. Like, it's almost like a occupying army, but at the same time, like, what are you gonna do about the dissidents?
If there's also an insurgency inside a U.S. city, what do we just hand out flowers and we bribe them with money? What we should do? Bribe them with homelessness resources. I think Durkin was onto something. I think Jenny Durkin was onto something in Seattle. I think it totally worked.
I miss Jenny Durkin. I haven't heard from her since Chaz ended.
I know. She was great. It's like Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, yeah. She's another good one.
She's a great one. Yeah, apparently Detroit still sucks.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah. And she's still being fucking terrible about that. And I think, like we talked about it last podcast, but these correlations that they don't find correlations between protests and increase in the coronavirus. The cognitive dissonance to think that, because we're talking about a certain subject, that we're not under the purview of germ theory and the propagation of a pandemic. Because I remember in the beginning when these anti-maskers or anti-coronavirus people were like the crazies, and they talked about that in Philadelphia in 1918 during the Spanish flu, or is it the Spanish flu?
Yeah, it was the Spanish flu.
No. Is it from Spain? I can't say it's the Spanish flu.
There we go.
It's the flu of 1918.
We're
Influenza.
on this program, we are saying Spanish influenza. God damn it.
Montezuma's Real Revenge.
I mean, he wasn't really Spanish. He was.
It was
Aztec.
Yeah.
He got conquered by the Spanish.
He did.
Actually.
Well, so there was a big parade for the end of World War I in Philadelphia at this similar time as the Spanish flu, and there was this massive increase, and everyone was so afraid that would happen because people propagated and got within a social distance of each other. But now, because they talk about something divisive that they have great belief and passion for, because it's this subject, that's okay.
Yeah, like what?
How can you possibly think that there could be a difference?
It's really weird, because also, now that you mentioned that, a lot of these states, they started to reopen in early May, and when the spikes happened again in mid-June, we were like, oh, it's because we opened. But
it's Memorial Day.
The gestation period is 2 weeks. And
Right?
what was 2 weeks before that? The protests.
No, that's racist, bro.
Yeah, pretty. Racism is a public health issue. I've seen so many ways that
That's a weird one. Racism is a public health issue. That's why this is okay.
Like, so many ways to try to justify this behavior, and yet, like, tell other people, hey, anti-maskers, you guys, like, you're bad.
You're the bad ones.
Even though we're out here shouting shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Literally running around Doing all this, yeah. So I don't. It's
I don't really
the most
buy
wild
that.
stuff.
And speaking of these violent protests, the representative John Lewis passed away over the weekend, and it's a shame. I didn't agree with him politically on a lot of things, but he was sort of a representative of a time when peaceful protests were a thing. You know,
Old black man.
he was a big what the restaurant sit-ins. He did that. He was the youngest member of the Big Six, civil rights activists. So his departure from this earth is almost like a symbolic departure from that ideology of peaceful protests.
Of actually how to move legislation and have your voice heard.
Yeah, like work within the system, like civil disobedience.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order to make way for like some of these radical thinkers.
Yeah. Critical theory thinking. Yeah, it's very strange. Burp. But yeah, that's coronavirus. It only gets worse from here because the other hot news, I think, is Epstein.
Oh, yeah. Let's go down this rabbit hole.
So
this is...
if you remember, Ghislaine Maxwell, his girlfriend, has been arrested in New Hampshire, being connected to everything, all the child sex trafficking, blah, 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 blah. Apparently she was the mastermind, and Epstein was just the puppet. I don't know about that.
No,
but it's
definitely
convenient because
not.
now he's dead that you can call her like the big bad evil. Well, involved in this was the fact that the federal government has indicted Deutsche Bank, the Bank of Germany, for 100, and they've agreed to a fine of like $170 million because Deutsche Bank was the main bank that Jeffrey Epstein used to move money around. I mean, he was given a mansion for free. He was given all these things. He had all these assets, and he was, quote-unquote, a hedge fund manager.
Yeah,
so
quote-unquote.
Right. So, quote-unquote, he worked with a lot of money, moved a lot of money around. And Deutsche Bank is being indicted for the fact that they didn't monitor him and, anti-money laundering, counterterrorism, all these types of things are under the purview of banks to make sure that no one's doing anything shitty. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, the judge presiding over this is Judge Salas. What's her last
Esther
name?
Salas, yeah.
Yeah, Esther Salas, and Latina judge,
Mm-hmm.
and she's presiding over this case. She's the judge for it. And yesterday, somebody broke into her home and shot her to murder her, shot her son, and killed him, and shot her husband, and he's in the hospital right now. Yeah. An apparent hit to get rid of the judge presiding over this case.
It's the details are insanely shady. The shooter was disguised as a delivery man.
Yeah, for FedEx. That's right.
Then killed himself. Let's put that in
supposedly.
Let's put that in
now,
quotations.
New things are coming out that maybe he's not dead. This person. We don't even. This is very hot off the press stuff. It happened yesterday.
It's
no one
all
really
in
knows.
Broad daylight, though. There's many people with a vested interest for this trial not to happen.
Yeah, to go like. But the thing is, if you kill a judge, we'll find another one.
Yeah, I think they're trying to intimidate the judge. I think that they're trying to make an example of Ms. Salas and saying, like, hey, if you take this case, this is what will happen to you as well.
I mean, showing a show of force, like, hey, this will happen to you.
Yeah, it's intimidation tactics, in my point of view.
I mean, we'll see how that goes. I mean, I can only imagine that she's in some type of like witness protection style of, isolation so that she can be protected.
Hope.
Right?
But and that's our thoughts and prayers out to her for
her family.
Yeah, like she just lost a son, which is horrible. But this is all very disturbing stuff that really isn't getting much news coverage either, which is the funny part.
Which is much more interesting than what's been happening in the past, like witness tampering, bro. That's like the St. Valentine murders back in the 20s. Of removing competition, removing, your enemies that are, trying to get you, and then the enemies are the U.S. government, so you're killing judges and shit. Okay, that's fucking fucked.
There's a cabal. Let's just say there's a cabal who loves to frequent a pizza shop that is definitely they want this lifestyle to continue, and they want us to know that it never know that it happened.
There's so many different sides and vectors and people, organizations that are just so closely linked, and so there's enough of a red thread from one person to the other to have say, oh, there's a connection there. It's really quite freaky deaky.
There's too many of them too.
And there's a lot of them. There's so many of them. This is a time of upheaval.
It is.
This is a renewing. A lot of things are changing in these times. Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know what that means, but sure, I don't.
It's like the tagline for like any like astrology nut.
Something bad happened. Venus is in rising. Oh no. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, if you see it, it actually crosses with your Venus because even though your sign is a Leo, you're actually your Venus is in Virgo. It's like
actually the one thing that they are specifically pointing out to
what?
is that the Earth is in eclipse with Saturn.
Okay, and
that means it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is often linked to Lucifer.
Really?
Yeah, as being evil. So apparently it was either yesterday or today that in the cosmos, the sun is blasting Earth, and Earth is putting a shadow on Saturn. So that obviously means something important.
Well, Saturn is the Roman name for the Greek goddess Hera, and if Hera is linked to the devil, that means the devil is a woman. Ha! Logic.
Oh, wow! What a connection, Tom. That's funny.
Real news.
Is it Hera? Because I know Jupiter is Zeus.
Yeah.
Hera?
So she'd be Hera.
Isn't that Zeus's mom is Hera? Or is that Gaia?
I thought that was his wife.
His wife?
His like sister wife. Like
they're all they're all related.
Yeah, they're all related. Yeah, the Greek god's pretty gross.
Pretty gross. But that's also like the Greeks kind of did that too, I guess. So it wasn't like
they were kind of like sexual deviants.
Yeah.
That's why that's why they're good at economics.
So yeah, Epstein. So the first sentencing trial was over. The internet for Ghislaine Maxwell on the 14th. Was he when put any bets down for how long she's gonna be able to maintain?
I say she's dead before the end of the year.
End of the year.
Yeah.
End of the year. I'll give her this time next year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'll give her a year from today. Like this case is gonna be dragged. The money lawyers are just gonna run everything possible. So I think she's got time.
All right.
Or she just disappears to Israel. Again.
That could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen. It's 2020.
Yeah. At this point, everything's up in the air.
Jeez. So diverting from pedophile elitists.
Yes.
Let's see. We got some like oddball stuff to talk about. Just like little throwaway news. We've got so a study in Singapore says that if you had any form of the coronavirus, there's a good chance that you will never show symptoms and never be contagious, even if you catch it. So like,
wait, what?
The cold is a coronavirus,
right?
Like if you get any of these, your T cells remember that, and therefore, like the people who they tested, like 50% of the like world population right now has had recently had some form of coronavirus. So when they're talking about like how 50% of people will be asymptomatic if they get COVID-19, it's because they already have an immunity to it.
Oh, so they'll just be carrying it, but won't show any symptoms.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Right?
That's real nice. Yeah, I think that was the funny thing. People highlighted that like bleach brands, like 99.9% of bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll list the things that are specific, like salmonella and E. coli, and then they'll say the common cold and other coronaviruses. And that vocabulary item is like, oh, the coronavirus. Well, they're all in the same family.
Yeah.
Well, they're all in the same family. So they're all kind of the same, just a little different, little tweaks that make them more or less bad. That'd be hilarious if that... Well, we'll see if those Singaporean scientists make it out alive.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have a vested interest in...
making sure this thing don't go away. And another thing for the coronavirus, apparently the British government, the Brits have found demoxethone. They found another treatment for the coronavirus.
Really?
Similar to hydrochloroquine.
Nice.
So when you have it, it mitigates not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the stats, and it reduced mortality from 25% to 20% when on a ventilator. So it wasn't a massive increase, but it was better. And apparently it's very cheap.
Nice.
It's a very cheap medication, very similar to like hydrochloroquine and malaria, and we've always had it. And that hasn't gone around. I saw it once. I saw the article for it once that the UK has found this great stride in curing the coronavirus. But we don't care about that. Nope. Big Pharma wants you to have the Rona.
Yeah.
And then have to spend all this money.
Lockdown, mask on.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funky.
Yeah, that stuff's weird. I guess like on a non-coronavirus related topic, the Mary Trump, Donald Trump's niece, who's the daughter of his older brother Fred Trump Jr., released a pretty much like a tell-all book on DJT.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So
and what kind of words does Trump use?
Yeah. Oh, so the
that's
specific interview on
Yep.
CNN. She's like, did he use the N-word? Oh yeah, yes. It's like, okay, well,
Regularly. Yeah.
A, that wasn't like in the book, and B, like, how come you're saying it now and not in 2016 when he's originally running for office?
If you don't like your uncle, you don't like Uncle Don, why wouldn't you say it before?
Yeah,
Because I'm sure people call to talk to you. It's like, oh, you're a relative and you don't like him. It's like the opposite of Malik Obama.
Yeah.
We all love Malik Obama, but no one else likes him.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Did Malik Obama call like the first time I think I actually heard the word cock used was like when he called Barack a cock. I was like,
His
what?
brother. That's hilarious.
It's like I hate him because he killed my good friend Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh man.
Amazing. So yeah, Mary Trump is like you said, like reverse Malik Obama.
At this point now, like it was the thing in 2015, 2016 that nothing can stick to him. Like he just shrugs off everything. But even at this point now, he's the most Tefloniest Don. He's taking up masks now.
Yeah.
And they pointed out, oh, he's wearing masks. I'm like, yeah, he's wearing masks. It's local ordinance. Trump follows the law.
Weird.
Okay, cool. He's wearing a mask. But nothing bad sticks to the left is really pushing to find the connection between Trump and Epstein. And there are a couple anecdotal evidence reports that he was at Mar-a-Lago and Trump kicked him out, and that he might have been on his plane once. All these connections. But nothing. He is like the slipperiest snake. They can just go. He just moves past it. Just keeps on going. Keeps running.
Isn't that funny?
He's Dave
though?
Goggins on an ultra marathon. He just keeps trucking. He's the legend that could.
It's like, hey, forget about Epstein. Unless Orange Man is involved.
Then Epstein. Yeah, he's like a universal constant.
Yeah.
Everything shall revolve around him, and whatever is shall not be. Whatever is not shall be. For everything.
He's a force of nature.
Force of nature.
Like Trump still is. Oh yeah, he also had a good. Did you watch any of his interview with Chris Wallace?
No.
It's essentially like Wallace trying to like fact check Trump. The thing is though, like Wallace's fact checks weren't always accurate, and I thought like Trump did a decent job. He's like, yeah, people like you use these outdated coronavirus facts, like you're all fake news. Like he's on Fox News talking shit.
To Fox News.
Yeah, to Fox News. It was actually pretty entertaining.
So he doesn't hate just CNN. He hates all news. All the media shit.
Yeah, he's just like, let's just do like Trump News Network.
I was about to say, we need TNN. We need TNN. We'll have a state-sponsored news network. I'm sure that won't have that won't be bad if we have a state-sponsored news network.
Works great.
That works great in other countries.
Especially for China.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else did he say? Also, on the topic of Biden, Trump said, oh, yeah, you guys, Biden definitely won't do an interview because he's incompetent.
Fuck.
Let's be real here.
God damn it.
I mean,
let's be honest. What has Biden been doing? He's had some hilarious rallies within these circles with the chairs.
Yeah.
To make sure everyone's social distancing. And it looks real sad. Looks very sad. And he's had... Remember, I was watching it. He's doing a virtual interview. And I don't know why, like... He took a question from someone who had, like, cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
For, like, 30 minutes.
What?
Yeah. And he's talking through a computer.
Okay, I heard the computer voice.
Yeah.
I was like, this is weird.
And it was very strange because I don't think Biden could really understand him, or could understand his voice, because he would just like go off into really strange tangents, and then he'd bring it back at the very end, like, oh yeah, no, that's what I think about blah, and it's like, why are you doing this?
Like, this is a Biden interview, not like a you interview. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
it's very strange. It's really really strange. I don't see how like I forget, it was an article. We were talking about it. What will happen on November 3rd will be another day in infamy.
It will be.
It will be, because no matter what the outcome is,
Shit's gonna happen.
yeah. Trump gets it, shit's gonna happen. If Biden gets it, shit's gonna happen.
There's rumors swirling around that Trump won't step down.
Yeah, and I say that Trump won't abdicate. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's rumors. It's to
Yeah.
counteract.
Yeah, but they also said that in 2016, like, oh, if Trump loses, then it's rigged.
Yeah.
It's rigged, everybody. Yeah, everyone knows it's not real. It's all fake news. But yeah, but if Trump loses, Trump loses.
Yeah.
He's still president for 2.5 months.
I mean, I think they're almost using that to justify riots. Like, oh yeah, well that orange man, he's not gonna step down. We have to
take it from him.
show him by looting Target again. Yeah, this is what I think of your presidency.
Yeah, take that, Dayton, Ohio. Ha. Yeah, I don't know, because Biden still hasn't picked a VP yet.
No.
I know. You think like say there's no one else to run against you, so you're the presumptive nominee. Pick somebody.
He hasn't yet, and there's political reasons for it, because the Trump campaign has their guns like drawn ready for whoever that first person is. They've been tracing, man. So
I'm sure they got people on everybody that is possible, and they probably got not Watergate level, but they probably got somebody inside that knows like, hey, they're talking about fucking so and so. Like, ooh, all right, get some dirt on her.
yeah,
Get some, figure it out. Because once it comes out, we gotta have 5 ads immediately, on deck, ready to go. Oh, her father was an asshole. Perfect, run it. Yeah, it's politics. It's gotten so muddy now. It's so funny to watch.
So we are on the edge of our seats waiting for the VP selection.
Oh man,
I don't think it'll happen soon, but
no, yeah. Oh, isn't the DNC isn't it gonna be August?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So hopefully by then
Yes,
he announces his
5 weeks.
I wish it was Kamala. Then I would be so right.
Oh, Kamala. I hope it's Kamala too.
She's an easy target.
That'd be hilarious. Kamala Harris.
Yeah, just like
Especially
her.
in this anti-police time we're in right now.
Yeah.
She was the Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
State of
Or
California.
no, the DA.
Yeah,
DA?
she was the district. Yeah, you're right. She was the,
District Attorney for Okay, great, cool. Pick her. Police bad.
yeah. And then like for the debates, like the Democratic debates, he was always like half the answers were women of color.
Women of color. Well, he's already promised to pick a woman, so
Yeah.
we'll see who that's gonna be. It's gonna be Hill Dog. Hill Dog 2020,
if it's
baby.
Hillary, I will laugh my ass
Hill
off.
Dog, baby. Let's go. VP.
Man.
Joe Biden dies in his 5th day in office from a stroke. Nobody knows how it happened. It's crazy. Yeah, that'd be great.
That was, I don't know. We'll keep you posted on that.
Oh yes.
And check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Brunch Bang.